Welcome back to the Scrap and Melt channel. And yeah, I was busy the other day. I was bored. As you can see, I scrapped cleaned up some Bear Bright. And I would just like to say thank you for all the people who hit the like and subscribe button, and all the people who left nice comments. Thank you very much. I learned something the other day I didn't know. And then there was a bunch of people who wanted to leave negative comments, which I'm not having that. All right? You want that negative crap? That's fine with me. Don't do it here. We don't want to hear it. If you want to leave a positive comment, that's fine. People make mistakes. Okay? Made a mistake. Excuse me. And, I'm just going to leave it at that, because if I don't, I'm going to get nasty about it, and I don't want to do that. Anyway, I don't care. I got a big bucket of scrap copper wire. Bam, bam. I got that whole bucket of wire right there. Low grade. Bam. Oh, look. Buckets of copper. What's in these bags? Oh, is that copper wire? And yes, I didn't know that it was tin-coated copper. Well, excuse me. I learned something. Oh, look at that. More Romex. Whole bag of it. Anyway. It's a good thing, though, that I was smart enough that when I was stripping all those other ones out back there in the other videos, that I kept a whole bag full of all the wires, because I figured they're worth money. So, gee, I might have left wires in like 2 machines that are in the back of the van right now. I can go cut that out pretty easy. Very simply. So, no harm, no foul on that. I'll fix my mistake. But, if you're going to leave negative comments, we're not having that. I had several people have positive comments telling me my mistake in a nice way, which I'm fine with. People make mistakes. Everybody here does. If you don't, good for you. I don't know how the fuck you do it. Because I never met anyone that didn't make a mistake. So, let's get on with our day. I think I'm just going to start today since the prices are just so nice right now, I really think I'm just going to go through some of this wire. I have 3 bags of it right here, plus a whole bag of tin coated out there that it snowed last night, and I'm not going back there and getting it right now because I didn't shovel the back. And I ain't shoveling it. It's going to melt. And look, oh, look at that nice big bucket there full of number 1. Oh, boy. Yup. More copper. Yeah, well, that's why this is all here, too, because everything's covered with snow in the back, and I don't feel like dealing with it. So, but anyway, enough of me ranting and raving. Let's get on with the business. I think I'm just gonna start running some wire real quick and see where we go from there. Maybe we'll clean some other stuff up. Who knows? Maybe I'll just go in the back of the van and drag something out, but I really don't want to go out there. It's cold. Really just want to strip some wire real quick and be done with it. Do a comparison between handheld method and the wire stripping method. This thing runs it pretty good when it's the Romex. It's pretty simple to run through there, so it goes pretty quick. Usually, you never know. We'll see. We'll do a comparison though and see which one runs better. It doesn't run no freaking number 2 good at all. It binds it up and makes it coppery, splintery mess, and yeah. For the number 2, I much rather do it by hand. Plus this thing, there's so many different sizes. I'm constantly adjusting it. It's the problem with it. Anyway, let's get going here. I'll pull out some bales of wire. We'll weigh up a few bales of wire and see how quick we can get through each. With that, it'll be Romex. well, cleaned Romex. I already pulled it out of the case. Got a whole bag of it here. So, tell you, the machine runs the casing pretty good. I stripped the outside of the Romex like butter with that big thick shit. That shit will run it. The little stuff, not so much. It has problems with. So, let's find out what's better here. Let's do a tally of what I have so far, because what the hey. Oop. Tear out our machine, our scale, empty bucket. In that bin, 6 pounds, 4 ounces. Bye-bye, Mr. Buckito. Woo, 16.9. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's make some more of it. That looked good. And since the prices are getting so nice right now, I think it's the best time to do some of it, because what the hey, I need the money. And I am going to do a non-Ferris run this week and see what I can get. We got a lot of stuff we're going to bring. I'm going to bring in the brass. I'll bring in the number 2 wire. We'll bring in the with the extension cords, and yeah, we'll go from there. Weather permitting, I would like to build the trailer out so I can bring the steel over. That's gone up. That's up to 650 here, so that's nice. So let's move on. Let's see how much we can. We'll start by weighing out equal bales. Obviously, it's the only way to do it. And then see how quick we can strip each manual and machine. It's like Paul Bunyan versus the ox. Well, then the ox versus the locomotive team, you know. Somebody will say something about that too, because, you know, I messed up. Ew. People make mistakes. Look at that copper though. All right, let's get started. Okay, there's our first bundle. 3 pounds exactly. I think I'm gonna start with doing it by hand. I'll show you how I'm gonna do it. Then I'll just run everything real quick and keep a time on everything. And we'll go from there. All right, the time is 12:12. When I do it by hand, make a little notch in my block here. Now, that's just how I like to do it. You don't have to do it like this. There's many ways. I just find when I'm doing multiple size wires, especially like the number 2, this works better than the machine. And then I just pull it through. Or if you don't have a lot to do, slippery. Knots can be a pain in the tuchus. If you don't have a lot to do, it's a really cheap way to make a wire stripper. Cut a notch into a piece of wood. And you just run your... I mean, if you straighten it out, it'd be a heck of a lot easier. I'm running it the way it is, so... And you just run your knife over it. I know I missed a spot. Where is it? There it is. And it goes pretty quick. Surprisingly. Especially when you're doing different size wires. I mean, with the Romex, it's not bad because you just separate everything. But with some of the number 2, it's made by manufacturer, different manufacturers. None of it's the same. Some have more coating. different thicknesses. It becomes a hassle to run it. And plus it splinters up like crazy to run it in the machine. So that's it. And then just missed a little spot. I don't like that. Baby. It just peels right apart. Unless you miss a spot. And then you just clean it up. And it peels right apart. You can bring that lovely goodness right to your yard. Just like that. That's how I'm going to run this whole bundle here, and then we'll take a time at the end and see what we come up with. There's my 3 pounds. And we'll see what we come up with. I doubt you'd want to see me sit here and strip 3 pounds worth of wire like that. So I will go through this real quick and we will be back. So it's a little thicker. This is number 12. 12 gauge, whatever the hell you want to call it. Start my one end. Like I said, if you're doing this on the machine, I would have had to either separate this or keep switching around and recalibrating every time I have a new wire. This way I just skin it like a snake. Bam. Done. I'll run this stuff and we'll be back. We'll see what kind of weight we got in the time. Time check is, you know, I was bullshit and I'm taking time. It's 12:16 now. We'll be back. All right. As you see, the pile is gone. It's all stripped. 12:52. So, what was it? 12:16. So, not too bad. Not bad at all. It took me about 36 minutes to do. So, I mean, that was 3 pounds. Let's give it a weight. Let's find out what we come up with. And then I gotta turn that heater back on because it is getting cold. All right. Turn that on. Now remember, we're gonna get the bucket here, so we're gonna have to remove the bucket. And we're at 4.8 with the bucket. So let's go over here. Grab down the top tub. That's the new tub. That's where we're going to put all the number 1 for now, or Bear Bright. Really. All right. And we got 2.1. So I believe we said 4.8. So we came out with 2 pounds, 7 ounces after 3 pounds of solid with the, you know, insulation. And there it is going in our bin. So not bad. Right on point with what they pay you. They charge, I mean, obviously they don't pay you as much. That's 3 pounds. It took me a little over a half hour to do. And yeah, it's like what, 385 right now, I believe, Give me a sec, I'll check. Yeah, it's going for $3.85 a pound right now. So 3.85 times 2.7. So it's about $10 and a half an hour. So, yeah, you make about 20 bucks an hour. Just stripping it. Obviously, still got to find it and everything else. I actually have the wire first. That's not even including that time. If you add in that time, in the state that I live in, I just made less than minimum wage. Yes, minimum wage is $15 an hour here. So yes, there's all the crap on the floor. There's that still sitting there. Did it all with the block of wood and a knife. Took me a little over half an hour. Let's see what this beast takes. I hate this freaking stripper, but you know, it's not a good one. It's not like a strip mice or anything, so don't get me wrong. I bought it a long time ago. It was a cheapie. But yeah, let me get this fired up, and we'll weigh out 3 more pounds of copper wire and see how long it takes for me to roll through it on the machine this time. I want to see how much we can get in there. Because like I said, this week, probably in a day or two, I want to make a run on the old non-ferrous. I ain't messing around with the ferrous and the snow out there. I got to fix my trailer. I got to put sides on it. So that's going to have to wait. I'm not building sides on a trailer in the snow. But, you know, it's going to be warm. Not this week, next week. So that'll be good. And we'll go from there. Let's, yeah. So 36 minutes. We basically made $20 an hour, which I could go work at McDonald's, not waste my gas, not waste my time finding it and everything else, and made what I just made there. Yes, I could. Because you probably get 20 bucks an hour or dang close to it at around here. So I like doing this though. This is fun for me. I'm going to get started here stripping out the next batch, and we'll go from there. Let me get everything set up, and I'll be right back with the filming. I got to start this fire and clean up the mess. It gets hard to figure out which wire's what. So what I do is, that's all my trash. I keep my good stuff over here. I put the piece out there that I'm stripping. Well, in this case, I'll have to go through everything and separate it first, get it straightened, because it all looks like that. And then I can start stripping, and we will run everything off. And yeah, I'll show you that process in a second. I really thought it was going to take longer for me to do it by hand, but it didn't take me that long at all. Not bad, 3 pounds and a little over half an hour. I'm not going to complain. It's a block of wood and a knife. Let's see what the real deal can go for. If I had one, I would like to get one eventually. I would like one of those strip meisters everyone keeps talking about. I seen Junk and Grind using it, and it looked like a lifesaver. So maybe one day I will get one, but right today it ain't happening. So let's use the one I got, and we'll go from there. Let me get the fire started again, and let's get cleaning up. All right, we got our next batch out here, 3.1, close enough. I'm not gonna go silly over an ounce. It's copper here, not gold. Anyway, let me get the stripper out, get that set up, and we'll get started here. So first thing I'm gonna have to do is go through all there, straighten that big jungle out, and that's gonna take a few minutes, which technically would add time onto it, but I'm not gonna count it. So let me straighten that out, and then we'll start stripping. All right, get everything out. I didn't set it up yet. We are talking 110. Oh. Get you all set up there. All right. Let's see how this goes. 111, close enough. I got it cleaned up as best as I could here. It's kind of a pain because there's so much of it and some of it's pretty big. So, but anyway, let's start with some 14 and see what we get. Ay, ay, ay. Somewhere I put the Allen keys. Where I put them. So we'll just use a wrench, pliers, screw it. We're gonna want that small one, and you're gonna want it on an upward angle. Something like right there. Now I don't remember how good this does with the 14. So this might run like crap for all I know. I know the better machines got better notches and stuff in them, and yeah. Let's get this set up. See, if I was doing by hand, I would just straight start running it. But you gotta get this stupid thing set up. That feels pretty close. Let's see what happens. Little test strip here. Runs so wonderfully, let me tell you. Go out and buy this thing. Yeah. No, really, if you are, spend the money on a good one. This thing's a pile of dookie. Will we even run it? Look at this. It doesn't even do nothing. Chinese people. Well, there's your answer. Don't buy one of these fucking things. Sorry, do not buy one of these things. They're junk. They run nothing. The only thing I can get to run through this machine is like the thickest of wire. I can't get anything thinner than usually like a 12. Well, there's your answer. I am wasting my time with this machine. Is your answer. Let's start with a fresh cut and see what happens. Not that I think anything's gonna happen. And I ain't sitting here for no freaking hour trying to feed crap through this stupid machine that doesn't work. So I'll open it so it barely starts feeding through, and then we'll crank her down a little bit. And that should go through. Let me lower the guard a little bit maybe. Let's see what happens. I think my propane tank's freezing up. Let's put that like that. See what happens. Get a little more of an angle. Piece of crap, so I don't really care about putting the pliers on it. Nothing. Not a damn thing. You can see right there, started to split it, but it won't feed it. Do not buy the Chinese knockoff. This thing's worth about its weight in aluminum. I hate it. It's going right in the trash. Quite frankly. I've never been able to strip anything with it. And kind of waste of time. So I'm going to go back to stripping it by hand and let's see what we can do here. All right, failure number one. Let's try and pull failure into some goodness here. Let me shut this off so I don't melt things. I'm broken. I don't want to have to run. I'm broken. All right, this is what I usually do with the wood here. I cut the notch in it with a grinder. I mean, you can use a saw. I just happen to have the grinder in my hand, and I had the idea of doing it this way. Don't ask me if I've seen this on someone else's channel. I probably did. I might have taken other ideas and made it into this one. I don't know. But this is what I was doing before. This is what took me a half an hour to strip the 3 pounds, which ain't bad. I'll take my money over giving it to the scrapyard any day. That's just me. Not that they're losing money. I would be. Either way, they're not losing money. They're still gaining product. That's basically what I did that whole half an hour. It's just wham bam, thank you, ma'am. No frills. Heck, you probably even find one for free. It's a block of wood. If you don't got a lot of wire to do, this would definitely be the way to do it, that's for sure. If you got a lot of wire to do, spend the money on a strip meister, I'm guessing, because I sure as heck hope it works better than that thing did. But I mean, you get what you pay for, obviously. Some people don't understand that. But I sure do. And sometimes you don't get what you pay for. Sometimes you get crap for what you pay for. Heck. Bam. So instead of spending your money on a cheap machine, if you got stuff to strip, You don't got a lot of money, just get yourself a piece of wood. If you drink, have a few beers. If you don't, sit there and relax, put your music on, and just strip. It'll save you $100 and something on a machine that doesn't work. I don't even remember what I paid for that machine. It was a long time ago, and that's why I stopped using it, because it never worked good on thinner wire. Like for stripping the outside of Romex, it's wonderful. I can whip right through it, get the ground out real quick. But for the 14 gauge regular wire, I could never get that thing to work. And with the number 2, all it does is make splinters that jab me in the hand constantly. I found this to be much easier to do. Oop, missed a spot. Bam, done. In the bin. I don't know if there's other good ones out there, but I know that machine was a piece of junk. You know, I might not know much, but I do know certain things. I ain't perfect. I make mistakes. Didn't make a big mistake. I made a little mistake. I can go back and fix that mistake very easily. Go right out there to the back of my van and take out the copper wires. And if you go back and watch my other videos, when I stripped out the rest of the machines, all that copper wire is sitting right in the back of my building, in my shed, in a bag. Thicker stuff can be stripped out. The thinner stuff can go right as number 2 insulated. I don't know if they got a tin coat at number 2 insulated price, but they got a strip price for it. My place also has a price for the enameled wire. That's why you see some of the thicker wire, the windings, in a different bin, because all my motor windings and stuff, that's a different price. Fetches me less than my number 2 does. So that's why that is in there. I found that out the other day, and I had to go back and clean up my bin, because my old place did not have 2 different prices like that. But the new place pays more, so guess where I'm going? Mama didn't raise no fool. And I've been in business for myself long enough to know you go where the money is. You don't work in crappy neighborhoods because they ain't paying you. You don't work in poor areas because they ain't paying good. Even if you're poor, you doesn't mean you got to work in a poor area. You can go make money doing a good job in a nicer area than what you live in. I do it all the time. That's how I make more money than I used to. If you're good at what you do, you can go work anywhere and get paid good money doing it. If you don't, and you sound like an idiot, no one's going to hire you, and no one's going to want to use you. I might not be the best at anything, but I'm good enough to do what I gotta do and get paid. I work in $1 million+ homes almost every day. And people say, oh, you can go work this, do that. Yeah, well, I probably could and make the same amount of money as I am now. I do this because I got a lot of scrap and I like doing it. I keep crap out of the landfill and I get paid to do it. That's what I like to do. I don't like not working. It bothers me sitting around all day not doing nothing. Heck, if you live in a place where you can go scrap $200 worth of scrap or less every day and make enough money to live, God bless you. I'm a contractor and I live just above the poverty line here. Ain't cheap to live where I live and do what you gotta do legally. And if you want to go up north of where I live, even in the really bad neighborhoods, houses go for $500,000. So, and we ain't talking nice neighborhoods. We're talking neighborhoods where you probably gonna hear shots fired all night. For $500,000 for a house. So, you know, I don't know where you people live. You don't know where I live. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Maybe you've heard me say where I live. It's an expensive state, I'll tell you that much. I do what I gotta do to make ends meet. People make mistakes. I made a mistake about the tin coated silver, the tin coated copper. Hey, I made a mistake. I kept the old stuff though. I kept it for a long time. Well, not a long time, but I kept keeping it for a long time. And if I wouldn't have said something, I would have never learned. If I would have never learned, I probably would have thrown it out. So, it was a blessing in disguise. Hey, but you don't got to be negative about things. You can say things positively, very simply, very easily. People do it all the time. I get a lot of nice comments from people, and I thank you all. And I think everyone's made this far into the video. Listen to me blab and strip copper. It's basically what we're going to do today is blab and strip copper. Because I think I want to do, well, I don't think, I know I want to do a run this week. Weather permitting. It's supposed to get down to 9 degrees. But I think that's at night. I think it's only supposed to be 20 during the day. Not that that's good. People in Florida are going to be like, holy crap, that's freezing. People up north are going to be like, you're a freaking puss. So many people got probably like 3 foot of snow out there right now. Thank God I don't live there because I hate the snow. There we go, people. Make that copper money. Making money. Money. And the nice thing is, I don't have to keep resetting things. I just keep stripping. Whether it's 12, whether it's 14, I just strip. Whether it's some weird millimeter size, which we wouldn't have here, not in this at least. And stoves and stuff, yeah. Don't gotta readjust. Just put the knife down and cut. And like I always say, this is the way I do it. You can do it the way you want to do it. Just like everybody else does it the way they want to do it. Junk and Grind does it his way. Scrapping with Grandpa does it his way. Scrap It All does it his way. Big Country Scrapper does it his way. Everybody got their own way to do things. Ooh. Wire took in the camera out. Taken, sorry. Everybody does things their own way. And the nice thing about putting the videos out there, I learn stuff. I like learning stuff. You know what day we stop learning stuff? The day we die. That's when you stop learning and you're dead. If you're not dead, you're going to learn something almost every day if you want to. And if you don't, you don't. That's your problem. Knowledge is power, my friends. Knowledge is power. Don't let people keep you down and tell you it's not, or tell you you're wrong because you don't know something. Well, you didn't know it, so how are you wrong? It's something you didn't know. You learned. You're still moving forward. You're still going. You're still thinking. Don't let people put you down because you don't know something. There's a lot of people that don't know things out there. I've had bosses that I worked for when I did plumbing that didn't know things that I knew because I worked for old school plumbers before I went and worked for them. And it was stuff that they never learned because they never worked for an old school plumber. How to pour lead, all that stuff. And before you start running your mouth to people about what people don't know, you don't know what they don't know, and you don't know what they do know. Just like they don't know what you know. If you're nice, that's how you learn things. Maybe you'll learn something from that person one day. Maybe you won't. Maybe that person will be just a complete idiot and not know a damn thing. But maybe one day you're going to see something that you ain't know before. And maybe that old man might do something completely different than you do. And he might know more than you because he's been around that block. Some of the smartest people I know keep their mouths shut. And just watch what other people do and think. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't gotta be the dumbest. But, you know, if you ain't gonna be nice, I ain't gonna leave you comments. I'm not doing negativity. I'm not gonna have people try and put me down because I didn't know something. If that's the way you want to roll, that's the way you want to roll. You ain't my daddy dead. Okay? You ain't family to me. You ain't a friend. Not if you're going to be talking like that. If you want to talk nice, that's fine. We can have a nice little conversation. I'm not having negativity on my channel. Just not going to have it. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to do stuff. Like I said, if I didn't say nothing, that first commenter that commented nicely, and a couple other people after that commented nicely, and a bunch of people who wanted to run their mouth, because, you know, they know better than everybody, and they're the king god themselves. They just know everything. They never made a mistake. They wanted to run their mouths. because I made a mistake. So we're not going to have that here, though. We're going to keep things nice. You want to be helpful to the people out there who might not know and who are just starting to scrap. That's fine. Hell, I've been scrapping a long time and I didn't even know that. Never even thought about it because it's not something I used to scrap. I get a lot of appliances. I used to get a lot of copper pipe and a lot of copper wire from doing work. Excuse me. I got all this nice bare bright usually. And quite frankly, I don't think in this state you could make a living just scrapping alone. Most people work 2-3 jobs if they don't have a job that they're getting paid over $150,000 a year for. And yes, most of my customers are making way over that. Most of my customers are making $250,000 each. Husband and wife or whatever partnership each. Most of these people don't have problems with money. They got bank accounts and 401ks and stocks and gold and silver bullion and all kinds of stuff. Okay, they live in $1 million+ houses with paid off cars. My state, if you're making less than $150,000 as a single person, you are considered poor and lower class. Okay, middle class starts at $150,000 a year or more. So, like I said, I don't know where y'all's from. But when you hear me complain about money, it's because it's expensive where I live. I ain't even talking all the rest of the stuff you need to live. Food, gas, electric, taxes. Our taxes are through the freaking roof. Our taxes are higher than almost every other state in the country. Especially our housing taxes. Our property taxes are through the freaking roof. Our property taxes are more than California. Their houses cost more, but our property taxes cost more. You do the math. It ain't cheap to live here. So before you go run your mouth that I'm talking about that I'm broke, maybe you should learn something or just keep your mouth shut because there's no reason for it. I'm here to put on a show about scrapping. You know, I don't know your whole situation. You don't know mine. I can sure tell you this. I ain't making no money on these YouTube videos. I do it because I like doing it. And I like learning. And it's helped me learn and grow as a scrapper. One day, if I do start making money off of the videos, great. But until then, I make my money working and scrapping. And I highly doubt I'm going to make enough money off of one thing to ever make enough money to live. I can't even afford a house. Rent for a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,800 a month. I don't know what rent is at your place. But if you got $1,800 a month rent on a cheap apartment, you're probably living in one of the same states as I do. Or one of the more expensive states like I do. But anyway, I digress. I'm just rambling on here, stripping away. I like this stuff, man. It keeps me busy when I'm not working. Makes me a little bit of extra money. And I figured since the prices are going up, I'll make a nice little run and recoup some of the money I've been putting out. Fixing my cars. Shoot, if I was making that much more money, I wouldn't be fixing my own car. Like I did in the other video. You know, because people with money, that's what they do. They work on their own cars because they have to, not because they want to. It's not like I'm working on a 72 Chevelle. And I'm like, yeah, it's my baby. I mean, it is my baby, it's my truck, but still. It's not a 72 Chevelle, that's for sure. Coming along nicely, coming along nicely. The pile's going down. This stuff's a little kinkier than the other batch. The wires are a little longer. That's okay. Getting her done. Getting her done. Makes me feel good to just be able to put money in my pocket sometimes. You don't work for a week, it sure adds up quick. Like I said, learning that the other day is a blessing because I got a whole bag of that number 2 tin coated number 2 right in the shed. Now that I know it's worth $1 something a pound just the way it sits. Or more, it's definitely worth it. I don't know what number 2 insulated goes for. Don't usually scrap it that often. But lately I have been needing to, and I've been saving it up. But I know I've been watching the prices, and the prices have been going up. Steel's at $6.50. I would love, if it didn't snow, I would have been building the sides for the car trailer and loading all that steel. And yes, all my steel is cleaned, and you know, I don't do it always, but sometimes I run out of time and get a little upset. Not really upset, but a little tired. Just don't feel like ripping more apart, and it's cold out. I don't like the cold. I live in the Northeast, it's cold. Not as cold as other places, thank God, because I don't know how people in Wisconsin and stuff do it. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's some cold. Up north, Chicago, Illinois area. That's cold. I couldn't do that. All that snow. Ugh. If all my family wasn't here, I'd be in Florida. But I'm a pawpaw. My grandson loves me. I wouldn't leave him for the world. He's what keeps me going sometimes. Anyway, like I said, these are really long, which is good and bad. And if it was completely straight, this stuff would just strip beautifully. For what it costs to buy a machine, unless I had a whole lot of copper, I don't know if I'd buy another one. I don't know. I kind of want one, and I don't want to waste the money on if it's not going to work. I'd like to check out some more videos on that strip meister and watch how it works for people. I know Junk and Grind uses his all the time. I've seen him use it. Looks pretty good. Scrap with Grandpa has a whole different setup. In Project Florida, that's just like the setup to end all setups. He'll run more copper in a day than most of us will see in a lifetime. And we got a lot of people that subscribed and that like watching the videos. I got some people out of country that love watching the videos from Poland and Portugal and all kinds of places. We got Scrap and Lou. He checked out the channel a few times. And some other people on here that check out all the time. I don't remember all their names. I'm sorry. But I thank you all. I thank everyone that watches. We're almost done here. We're getting there. We're getting there. Down to the littler stuff. That was all the really, really long stuff. I like starting with one side, getting it started so I don't forget it. And then using that as the handle. Just pulling it through. I'm sure you could build a better setup than this. If you had a setup with a feeder on it, a little hold that in place and keep it straight, that'd be great. You just pull it right through. But even as it is, it ain't bad. I ain't gonna complain. Gets the job done. Makes me some extra money. You know, it ain't easy. This is hard work doing this kind of stuff. And you got guys that do the street scrap, and that's really hard work. Packer, scrapper, and all them guys. They do a lot of hard work. Junk and Grind does it too sometimes. Just make a little bit of extra money here. Now, if I could only find a bag of this a month, be a happy camper. Makes me want to go back working for the housing flippers, but they don't pay as well, so I don't like working for them. But you get perks. You demo houses and do work. Work for electricians and plumbers and stuff. Some places keep it, some don't want it. Hey, if you don't want it, I'm gonna take it. You can throw it out in the dumpster. I am definitely taking it. I am not that proud. I am too poor to be that proud. Ain't no shame in my game. Make some money. Anyway, I gotta do it. I've had many jobs over the years doing crappy work when things got slow. Housing bursts and everything else, and you don't work for a while. You get laid off and can't find a job somewhere else because ain't nobody doing work on their houses. You do what you gotta do. EPA lot cleanups and all kinds of crap work. It's harder to find blue collar jobs by me than it is to find a job making $250,000 a year. If you have all the education and degrees and all that. So I started my own business doing construction, working for those people. They pay good, especially if you know what you're doing. And it's getting even harder in my state to become a contractor. Now you're going to have to test to get your license and be bonded plus insurance. I think we have to carry more insurance this year too, coming up. Fun. More money we got to spend. And then you got people complaining that it costs so much when they're living in $1 million+ homes. But you know, it costs them so much to live here. Well, yeah, that's kind of how that works. You want that good pay, it costs money to live here. You want to send your kids to all those good schools and all that crap that you think are good, well, you're going to pay for all that. You pay for that address. I can't afford that address. I'm just here trying to eke out a living. I was born here. Y'all moved here. When I was born here, there was still stuff being made here, still jobs. Then the 80s came and everything went overseas and everyone lost their jobs. Everything I thought I would do for a living went down the drain. So I started doing plumbing. And when I got tired of cleaning drains all day, touching other people's poop, I started my own construction business. I've been in business since 2008. If you know anything about 2008, that's when the housing market burst. So you do the math on how hard I've had it to get my business started. It wasn't easy. There was many a times where I barely make enough money to live. But I had no other choice because wasn't nobody else hiring with what I know. I can go working back then for $7 an hour minimum wage, $8 an hour minimum wage. Probably gonna make $10 an hour working somewhere. When I used to do plumbing and everything else and making good money. Not that I made really good money because they like screwing you over as much as they can, especially when you're young. You do what you gotta do, though. Keep on keeping on and keep working. Don't let nobody bring you down. Only things that are guarantees in life are taxes and death. Other than that, you ain't guaranteed nothing in this world. And if you think you're owed something, you're surprisingly mistaken. Don't nobody owe you a thing. If you want to act like somebody owes you something, I'm sure there's someone out there that'll teach you that you ain't owed nothing. There's some mean people out there that don't give a crap. I've had bosses that would throw you off the job and tell you what kind of piece of you are quicker than anything. That's how I learned plumbing. I learned from old school plumbers who didn't care. They weren't going to be nice to you. They weren't there to be nice to you. They ain't your daddy. They ain't your mommy. They're there for you to work. They don't care about your feelings. Your feelings do not matter. You ain't there to have feelings. You're there to work. I think people forget that. You know, these younger generations don't realize that that's how it was. Hammer's gonna fly across that room. Somebody gonna be yelling and cursing. You ain't doing it right, somebody gonna do it, and you gonna get fired. If you think you know everything, you gotta surprisingly be mistaken. How much you don't know. You might think you know everything about scrapping. Well, there's a whole lot more to this world than scrapping. Like I said before, I've taught my bosses things. They might have one way to do it that you learned another way to do from somebody else that they didn't know. Even my nastiest boss at the best plumbing shop I ever worked at, well, one of them, he was nasty as can be. He would tell you off every morning. He would yell at you, curse at you in front of a customer, tell you what kind of piece you were. He'd tell you, you never stop learning till the day you die. I learned something every day, and he was almost 80 years old. He was in his 70s. He didn't give a damn. He wasn't there to care about your feelings. But I ain't gonna have that here. That's not how I roll. I ain't gonna have no negativity here. It's all positive. I'm positive I'm gonna make some money. That's why I'm positive. Make some scrapping into cash. I'm gonna cash out a big bundle of scrap this week and see what happens. Oh, shoot. That 50 cents a wire that I left in that machine might be a lot of money to somebody. I don't know. To other people, it ain't worth pulling it out of there. Some people, it ain't worth doing any of this. They just throw it all in the back of their trailer and bring it over as shred. But, you know, people don't like to hear that. Oh, because, you know, you'll get downgraded. Well, they'll get downgraded. Time's money. How much money are you going to make on that time is the question. Is it worth your time? Maybe it's not worth that person's time. Maybe they'll make more money doing something else. Maybe they just don't know no better. Maybe they just don't care. Maybe it's not how they work. Maybe they don't like micro scrapping things out to the point to make extra money. That's how we do. All right. I think I got like one more piece here. And we are done. I'll give you a time check when we're done. And usually I got my music on. Before I was cranking the Pantera. I'm broken! You know, I get my stuff going. I just start stripping. I don't think about it. I just start doing it and go. Whoop. I hate when it gets cold out and then the propane tanks freeze with the heaters running. Then they stop running. When I used to do plumbing, we used to put the heater in front of the propane tank so the heater would blow on the propane tank and heat it. So it would defrost itself. Because when you gotta heat a whole building, commercial building, to get it defrosted, they're paying by the hour for you to be there, defrost that building and make sure there ain't no leaks anywhere and to fix any leaks if there are. Schools, all that stuff. People don't think about that. That stuff freezes, man. Make some money. Used to get paid to sit there and babysit heaters when I did plumbing some years. Because it was that cold out that the pipes would freeze and people would pay you to come defrost their pipes and make sure there was no leaks. I'm not going out back today, but like I said, I got that whole bag of the tin covered. Number 2 in the back. And we'll clean that up. If it's thick enough. If it's not, I won't. I'll just run it as insulated number 2 and make my money. Because there comes a point when this stuff gets so thin, it's not even worth stripping. But I guess somebody's going to have a problem with that because it's not worth stripping it. But like I said, if it's worth it to you, do it. If you got nothing else better in your life to do than run your mouth over somebody making a mistake, don't do it here. We don't want to hear it. We want positive vibes. I got so many nice people who told me that I was wrong in a nice way. Just said, hey, you know, that's tin coated number 2. You're screwing up there, buddy. You're losing money. I'm fine with that. But if you're going to come at me like you know everything and have an attitude with it, I'm not down with that. This ain't no little town, and when people say stuff like that around here, it usually means they want a little something and they want to fight. And I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. I don't need that on my channel. All I'm trying to do is do a little scrapping, make my videos, maybe one day make some money off them videos. Right now, I ain't making nothing off these videos. I'm making this money scrapping. I'm just trying to come up like everybody else is. I'm trying to make a living for myself, people. There we go. Bam. There she is. Time check. I don't even remember what time we started. It's 2:04 now. I think this one took me a little bit longer, if I remember correctly. That also might be a little more wire than the other one. I don't know. I might have screwed up there. Oh. And weighed out more than I thought because it was so stringy and hanging together. It was sticking together. Some of it was actually like kind of hanging off the edges and stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to get you in the frame here for the most part. Right. Yeah, Yeah, it's about the same. It took me a little longer though. These were longer pieces. A little more kinky, so it took a little longer. Plus, I was sitting here babbling the whole time. I really wanted that machine to work, and plus we were messing with the machine a little bit there. But, you know, that is what it is. But hey, it's another 4.9 pounds. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. Let's see. I'll put the big guy on there. Let's put the whole tub up there. Take the lid off. 23 pounds minus the container. I have no clue what's in the container. How much the container weighs, so 26 pounds with the container, probably 5 pounds or so for the container, I'm guessing. Not bad. Yeah, sure. Yeah, because I think we had 16 pounds before, and we just added 8. So yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, about 20 pounds of number 2. Number 2, I am just out of it now. Number 1, or Bare Bright in this case, it's not tarnished, so this would be Bare Bright. Nice and bright and shiny. I got some of the thicker tarnish stuff down there that'll probably go as number 1. And yeah, we got all the stuff up in here. There's all that. I think that's number, it might be windings. I think that's all windings. I'm not sure. No, that's number 2. So I got a box with windings because the motor windings, they pay you less. Oh, no, there's number 2. That is the motor windings. That's all motor windings. Since it's enameled, they pay you less. Some of them probably aren't enameled, but I'm not going to mess with it. The enameled stuff, they pay you less at my place. I don't know, maybe that's not what they're, maybe they're talking about all that glue and crap on there. I don't know. This stuff's pretty clean, so maybe they'll give me a better price. Maybe they'll give me number 2 for that. We will see. But we got that. We got the bucket of number 2, and that's the wire, the plugs, not the plugs, the extension cord. So we'll take that in. We'll take the number 2 and the windings in. I'm going to take the brass and this thing of Bare Bright, and that's all the Bare Bright I'm going to strip right now. I'm going to leave the rest in the bags. I think that's good enough to take in there. I don't really know, but from what I've weighed out so far, I should be able to pay for everything I need to and be able to do this. So thank you all for watching. And again, sorry for ranting so much this time, but it happens. Didn't think I'd have to do it this soon, and but I did. Anyway, everybody have a good day, and take whatever blessings you can get. And sometimes that's all you get. And sometimes you don't get anything at all. Some days are just straight crap. Some days you're watching a child in a coma. Some days you're riding high. So you never know what life's going to bring you. Be grateful for what you have, and keep up the positivity. Thank you all. Have a good one. Please hit that like and subscribe.